Hello. Welcome. I should wait a second for YouTube to catch up here. Hi, Holt. How are you today? Oh, how is that? Okay, great. Oh, how are you doing this fine evening? Well, evening for me. I don't know about you. Hi, Marielle. Welcome, welcome. I will have to warn you a little bit about my throat today. I don't know what's going on with it. Um, it's like I'm like it's given like sandpaper feeling all day, and like when I talk too much, it just gets really dry, and I like end up in a coughing fit. So, um, which is kind of unfortunate because we have a big book to talk about, but I'm gonna do my excuse. Here we go. I'm gonna do my best. I don't feel bad. It's just something with my throat. I don't know if it's just like a sinus thing or something. I don't know. Like I don't have a fever. I don't like feel like bad or anything. It's just my throat. I really no idea if there's a doctor here. Ugh. Just hoping if I keep like drinking water and tea, it'll kind of take care of itself by tomorrow. Vicky, don't die, please. I really don't feel bad. It's just like I don't know. It's just my throat. That's it. Like no fever, no headache, no aches, nothing. Nothing. I don't know what it is. No, if I just keep knocking back the water, that's it. My voice tends to start to kick out after an hour anyway. We all know this, so uh, hi Des. Hey Chet, welcome. Hi Tana. I think I sound a little stuffed up also. It's gotta be my sinuses, honestly. Florida weather is weird. It's like cold and then it's hot, and I feel like it just messes with things. I only remember people loathing this book a while back. Really? I feel like I don't remember anybody talking about this book when it came out. Like it's been on my shelf so long that like still have the hardcover, but it's been out in paperback for like over a year, I think. Water. I definitely have water. I'm prepared. I should actually just kind of like leave the cap off of it because I feel like I'm going to be reaching for it a lot. I'm fine. I'm fine. But I must have missed the buzz, pun intended. I must have missed the buzz when this book came out because I don't remember hearing anybody talk about it, to be honest. Every day. Every day does. I want to point out that I'm terrified of bees and I still read this book for y'all. Of bees or of like that whole like family, like bees, wasps, yellow jackets? Because I'm not so much scared of bees, but like a wasp or a yellow jacket, nah. I've also never been stung by any of those. I've never been stung by a yellow jacket or a wasp or even a bee. I'm going for the Lifetime Achievement Award in that. Nothing against the bees. The bees are great. The bees can stay, but it's like I'm gonna let you do your thing, and if I see you, I'm gonna go the other direction. Had to do with the narrative structure. Ah, okay, that makes sense. All of the bees, I gotcha. Okay, all of them need to get away from me. At least bees are important. I mean, here I am. I'm about to shit talk these bugs. Bees are at least important. Like, what the fuck do wasps and yellow jackets contribute? Are they even pollinators? Like, do they even do anything important? You know what I mean? Except like be fucking terrifying and like antagonize you. Like, I feel like I've only ever been antagonized by wasps. Like, occasionally, they'll just, like, hang out outside of my car, like, and I'm trying to, like, get into my car to go to work, and I'm like, "I feel like you're attacking me right now." Listening to this as a Oh, that's interesting because big fan of audiobooks, love an audiobook. I don't always have time to sit down and read, so I love a good audiobook, but this one, I wanted to read the book. I feel like it's actually been a little bit since I've done that. Like, at most, I feel like I always do, like, a hybrid, like, I'll sit down and read the book, and then I'll listen to it some, and then I'll read it some more. Um, but this one I decided I'm just gonna, like, read it, like, no audiobook at all because it has, like, the footnotes and stuff. I assume the footnotes were in the audiobook, but there's, like, the illustrations as well, and I kinda wanted, like, the full effect, I guess, so I decided to go no audiobook, on this one, so, um, I'm interested. Did you have the book also, Tana, to, like, see? Again, I assume they read the footnotes. I could definitely see how that would be challenging. And was it just one narrator as well? Feel like a kind of easy, I don't want to say like a cop out, but like an easy indicator is when they have like two narrators for like the past and the present. So at least by the voice, you kind of know that something has changed. I'm just curious. I read the book last year, so I had to do a quick refresh this morning. Nice. Figs are pollinated by wasps. Just figs? I could do without a fig. Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I'd like to know how they handled the footnotes. Oh, okay, so you didn't have the book as well. Okay. Okay. I gotcha. I think I'm a weirdo. And I every book I listen to on audiobook, I also own a physical copy of it. Mostly because I do the hybrid kind of reading. If I'm like doing doing nothing in my house or something like that, or folding laundry, I'll just catch up the audiobook to where I am and just listen to it for a little bit. Oh, just by one narrator. Interesting. I think that might be why I'm not trying to excuse the audiobook, but I feel like just having another narrator, I think, solves a lot of those issues sometimes. I guess I would just assume that they probably read the footnotes, like where they appear in the text, because the whole book is very conversational. I feel like the book is addressing us all the time as readers, so I kind of imagine the footnotes kind of just like I at least the way they read, I kind of just imagine if you were reading it out loud, it would just sound like part of the book, just like an aside. You know what I mean? The audiobook didn't but but it's fiction though. I feel like that's different than like nonfiction. I can understand like if a nonfiction book doesn't handle the footnotes, but that's interesting if they don't, because I feel like I don't know, I feel like that's part of I don't know. That seems like a bad choice for fiction if they don't read the footnotes. Because it's part of the story. I've listened to nonfiction audiobooks where they skip over the footnotes, but that's nonfiction. I feel like it's different. I like the illustrations. I like the illustrations. It kind of made me feel like I was reading an older book a little bit. Um, like I mean, I think it kind of fits like the some of the gothic themes that are going on in this. The illustrations just to kind of like illustrate what's happening in a scene. I don't know. It just feels like a gothic novel thing. I know it's not solely a gothic novel thing, but I quite like them. if it was the narrator saying stuff like, "But you probably don't know that reader." I feel like that was both in the text and footnotes. I would imagine they probably read the footnotes in this, just at least in this one. And some of it is like the way the footnotes read, some of it does kind of read like a genuine footnote. Like they're explaining about a character that they've just mentioned or something like that, as if you would find in a nonfiction book. It was interesting. I know we kind of jumped right into talking about the book, and we will jump right back into it for a second. I just wanted to mention really quick before the stream is over. I pinned the document again at the top of the chat. Um, Please leave some suggestions for 2024 creepy book club in there. There's a little section, just you can just type it. It can be anonymous if you want. It doesn't have to be. So we can pick what we're gonna read for 2024. It's getting there. We're almost there. Two more books. Okay, I just wanted to mention that, and now we can go back to talking about the book. Um, so what was like everybody's overall this is such a big book, so it's like it's really, I don't know where to start, if there's anywhere somebody wants to start, or if they like, if there was something maybe they want to see if like we can clarify, like the rest of us, if there was something that was confusing about the book. Not saying I know everything about this book. Is there anywhere in particular anyone wants to like, anybody wants to start? If not, like what were like our overall feelings of this book, because it's it's quite a book. Quite a book. And for Marielle, if you remember where you DNF'd, I'm just gonna, not, I don't mean to like call you out, but you did share in the Discord that you DNF'd this. And because I need to know, I just love to know, do you remember like where you were like, no, I'm not doing this anymore? I know I just asked so many questions like in quick succession, and I think I kind of did that on purpose so I can give my my throat a break for a second while I wait. Favorite aspect was favorite aspect was the, oh my god, sorry, I meant to click that one. Is the cursed films angle. I did like that. I think that was my favorite storyline was the, like the making of the movie, but it wasn't the movie they were making. Um I really liked that. I kind of wish there was more of it, and like when they kind of wrapped it up at the end, I kind of wish they discussed it more, I guess, like the director Bo Dylan like orchestrating everything and him being a part of the movie and watching him orchestrate it all. I love meta horror, so I really liked that aspect. I kind of just wish it was like more. I know it wasn't really part of the story, I guess. It's more about Brooke Hans, but didn't really like it, but that could be, it could be the audiobook's fault. It could. Or you could have just not liked it. That's also a thing. I'm not publicly shaming you. I am pro DNFing. I am pro DNFing. I'm just curious. I'm nosy. Maybe it's because I feel my emotions so strongly. There's usually like whenever I DNF a book, it's usually one point. It's like I'll read a page or a paragraph and I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this. And I love telling people about that. So if you don't remember, it's fine. I'm just curious. I think it's an important part of the discussion too. Like we don't all finish these books. I do because I kind of feel like I have to because um I kind of feel like I have to. But it's part of the experience. Some of us love them, some of us don't love them, some of us DNF it. It's part of the experience. I'm almost even more curious as to why Marielle didn't say right away that she DNF'd it, because I feel like normally when she does DNF a creepy book club book, she comes right out the gate to let everybody know. So what's changed? What's changed, Marielle? On my phone right now, so I can't check exactly, but it must have been at least, or must have been less than 50 pages. Okay, only because I wasn't into the story and it was way too long to stick to a story I don't care about. Okay, I don't really know what's going on like 50 pages in, but it's a big book. The setup is long, that is for sure. This is definitely possibly the longest book we've read for Creepy Book Club. I think it's a little over 600 pages long. This might be the longest one that we've read. Trying to see like what's kind of happening. Oh, when Eleanor, okay, with around like the Eleanor part. Okay, okay. Ooh, yeah, glad you brought this up, because yeah, I feel like the ending, like the build up to everything. Like I was into it. I was into the story. I was into the build up. I'm like, okay, I'm here for the ride. I'm like, we're building these characters leading up to like something crazy, and I feel like there wasn't really a climax, to be honest. I feel like maybe like if I had to take like a guess, it's I guess like the concert, um towards the end when Audrey and Merritt and Harper go to Noel's concert. That's part of like the film within the film. Um, and then Audrey's like feeling sick, and then they all go out into the hallway, and then they all realize that they all were told the same story by the director, that like, hey, the other two aren't going to be in on it, but we're going to be filming stuff like behind the scenes, and that's going to be the actual movie. And so they Audrey realizes that Merritt was told the same thing, and Harper was told the same thing as well. I feel like that was the climax, if I had to like pinpoint it. Back you up on what? I'm not shaming you for DNFing it. Stop gaslighting me. I'm just curious. I'm nosy. I want to know. Goodness. Don't even with the hashtag. I feel like that's such a stark contrast, though, just the size of those two books. Like this compared to like Nothing But Black and Teeth is like this much of this book. Don't even. Don't even. You're just continuing to gaslight me. Oh, the points. Yeah, I did forget about the points, honestly. Everything's made up and the points don't matter. Everything's made up. Des. I know Des knows I'm pro DNFing, though. Everyone gets a point. It's fine. For my throat. Wish the book would have. Ooh, interesting. Wish the book would have stayed in the past. Huh. I kind of wish the book would have stayed in the present. Yeah, the ending was like, yeah, and then yeah, so it's like after the concert thing happens, and basically we then cut to the Curse of Brookhaunts, which is basically just what was the last name? The Rash brothers. Like basically just like assaulting and killing this woman for the land of Brookhaunts. And like that's the curse, but it doesn't even really explain the curse. Like, is it the woman? Is she a vengeful spirit? Or is it just because something bad happened there that now bad things happen there? Um, and then it's the movie premiere, like the red carpet, and then that's it. Um, I know. Guys just love getting me all worked up, and I walk right into it. It's fine. And then Marielle continues to gaslight me. Des also did answer my question a while ago. I did see it. I'm coming back to it. Like the three narratives. I was really into the meta aspect, I gotta say. I think that's what kept me going. I just wish it amounted to like more by the end. I guess that's like my biggest disappointment because it's like it's a big book to get through. So it's like when you start a book this big, you kind of figure there's gonna be a lot more like character and plot development to get you to where you're going. Like there's a lot of moving pieces, and there are in this book to be sure. Many moving pieces. Um, um, and then it just I don't know, just like I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I was just along for the ride, so I don't even know what I wanted the ending to be, but I feel like definitely wasn't a bombastic ending. Um, I feel like even gothic novels have like a little bit more of a climax to them. Um, was the pacing good, would you say? Honestly, I do think the pacing was good until the end. Like if I feel like I can't talk now. Woo! I feel like if the climax had been stronger, had been like there had been more of something, like it amounted to more of something, I think it would have been perfect, honestly. Like the pacing up into the end, I think was great. I was into it. I think they did a good job of breaking up the past and the present and, not staying too long in either one. I don't know that I've read any other pieces of meta fiction. Like that now that I think about it. It's definitely something I would like to like look into and maybe read more of for sure, but I don't know that I've read anything else that is meta fiction. Yeah, it was just the payoff that was pacing was great. The payoff was yeah, exactly. Like as per usual, Des says it best. For all the hoops that you have to jump through, like with the whole idea of it being meta. I definitely agree. I think it was just the payoff was kind of like, "That's it?" But, like, wait. I almost it was like I was so into it, like, I was almost expecting I was like, "Oh, by the end of this, I'm gonna get to see the movie," you know what I mean? Like, I was gonna turn to a page and then, like, a screen would just pop up and I'd get to watch, like, the movie that was being made. Um, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. I liked it. I liked so many aspects of it. I feel like my overall feeling is kind of it's like good, but like it's just shadowed with disappointment a little bit. Jesus Same, 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 same. Oh my goodness. So we do have a lot of characters going on in this book. The narrator being one who's not identified, so we don't even really know. Or is it Merritt? Is Merritt the narrator? Because she is wasn't she like technically writing a fiction book about the behind the scenes, like what was going on? She was like writing it as it was happening. Was Merritt the narrator? I just interesting. Um I mean, speaking of, how do we feel about the Audrey Harper Merritt characters, like that kind of storyline? But now all of a sudden, I was just like, is Merritt meant to be the narrator? I almost forgot she was like writing a book about them making the movie and that whole thing. Interesting. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. This is Merritt's book that she was writing. He wanted something akin to the Mouth of Madness. I guess maybe just something a little more exciting. Oh, was it meant to be? Again, it's such a big book that it's like, for all I know, it could have been established at the beginning, and I possibly just forgot because it was like 600 books ahead, or 600 pages. Um, so maybe it wasn't all that big of a revelation. Maybe they do say it. Yeah, I like to think it is. I mean, at the very beginning of the book as well, you know how they'll sometimes have quotes at the beginning to kind of like set the tone for what the book is going to be. One is from Mary McLean, which Merritt knows all about, and the other is Truman Capote, which is somebody that Merritt idolizes for sure. So I feel like if she's going to write a book, those two are going to be quoted at the beginning of it for sure. She quotes them like literally throughout the story. I will say, yeah, when it comes to this storyline here, Audrey Harper and Merritt, Harper and Merritt's like date in Hollywood is the most lesbian thing. Starts off with getting Merritt's eyebrow pierced, and then they literally just like go everywhere on Harper's motorcycle, and it's an all day date. Um, if they hadn't have argued by the end of it, that date would have lasted 3 or 4 days for sure. It was very much a lesbian thing to do. I think that was one of my favorite aspects of this book. Yet another like slightly disappointing thing though, I gotta say. Like I was so delighted. I think this just goes to show like how shitty representation like has been and kind of still is, let's be honest. Um when it comes to if just blanket queer characters, I guess. Um like I was so surprised and delighted that like every single character that we get introduced to in this book is gay. And especially all of our main characters. So like Libby, Alex, Audrey, Harper, Merritt, all queer. All queer ladies, all sapphics. I was like, it was to the point where it was like every time we got introduced to a new character, I was like, there's no way they're gay. And then it would just somehow come up that they were. And I'm like, oh my God. Loved that. Um, was disappointed because there has to be some disappointment there. Disappointed that out of all of our main cast of queer ladies, none of them were people of color. It was all very conventionally thin, conventionally attractive, white queer ladies. Um, I guess maybe except for Merritt. I guess Merritt, it's mentioned that she she might be overweight, but when she talks about it as like overweight for Hollywood, which to me doesn't, to me sounds like she's just not a size zero. You know what I mean? It's not like actually established if she's plus size or anything like that. I don't think she is. So it was all very societal standard of beauty sapphics. A lot of side characters that were people of color, but I was kind of like, really? You got three main characters, at least just in the modern storyline, and one of them couldn't have been not white. Have more to say to that for another book club pick. Are you talking about Looking Glass Sound? Is that like officially metafiction? I know it's oh shit. I don't want to get sidetracked too much, but ooh. I don't think it's Getaway. Just want to save my queer 3 to 5 days of an uninterrupted first date. When will my time come? I know, I hear ya. I'm same. Same, same, same. So good for the creepy book club. They're all gay, so yay! It was delightful. Really, it's like one of those things that make you step back and you're like, wow, representation sucks. The fact that I'm this excited about it, like it really should be standard. Hey, love the part where they're like ladies banging at the school back when it wasn't real, right? If you were alone with those ladies, you would have smashed you. I loved that. That was the best part about like the past storyline was that like at this girls' school, it's like it wasn't even that like I don't know. It was like it was handled in a really nice way. Like it wasn't like a male fantasy of like a girls' school, you know what I mean? It was literally like they courted each other and they like they were like sweethearts, like you would be with anybody else. It was so sweet. I loved that. I'm not spoiling anything I said to you. It's Looking Glass Sound, isn't it? Okay. All right. We're just gonna take it, put it in the back of our brains for December. Not sure if I'll what? You have to at least try. I don't think it'll pass The Last House on Needless Street. I don't think anything could for me, honestly. Even Katrina Ward writing a new book, I don't think will ever surpass that greatness, but you could just read the first page and say you DNF'd or something. But I did really like that aspect of the past storylines too, that it was just so openly sapphic at that school. That those were the storylines where I'm like, this person cannot possibly also be gay. And I was like, oh shit, wait. Thinking of DNFing. That's a whole new level. That's a whole new level. You might have to do some convincing on me to get me on board with like preemptive DNFing. One thing I did find interesting in the book, though, I guess it like, maybe this is part of like the gothicness of it too, this idea of like, legends and ghost stories and things like that. Out of all like the storylines and backstory we get and all these different stories and all these different characters that we read, we hear like in every goddamn chapter about Flo and Clara and yet never get any flashbacks from Flo and Clara's point of view, which I thought was really interesting. Like their legend status applies to this book as well. That's kind of like examining their story even, and it's like their story has become so much larger than themselves that it's like we don't even get the backstory. It's like we hear about what happened, but it's like a cold like third person. It's not, it's not either of their points of view. It's just kind of like this is the facts of what happened and this is the speculation as to what happened and then that's it. And then their legend kind of just sparks all of it. Their legend plus Mary McLean's book, I guess. And you never really know um, what the fascination with the book is either. Clara gave me the pick. Yeah, at the beginning, but I feel like we don't ever get any. Everything else is like other people talking about Flo and Clara. It's never from their perspective, which I thought was interesting. But it definitely is giving Picnic at Hanging Rock. For sure. I just talk about though, like fucking worst way to die though, being swarmed by yellow jackets, like when Clara like steps into the nest and oh my god. Oh my god. After a year when we read the honeys and this one petition to not have any insects on any book next year so I can recover. Sometimes I don't know. Though I mean at least the insect on this one is like it's like a drawing and it's not like a like a lifelike thing. Flora and fauna take like a whole front seat in this story for sure. Like the yellow jackets, there's the trumpet, the angel's trumpet flower. I have it behind me. Yeah, although of course I'm covering it. You can see it there. Like the angel's trumpet, flowers, the orangery. Yeah, so it's like more bees. It's yellow jackets. It's different. No, in horror, thinking of their deaths in horror, I will reiterate, I've never been stung by a bee, a wasp, or a yellow jacket. That shit's scary. Like reading Clara just being like covered in yellow jackets and them just stinging her to death. That's horrifying. Like that just sounds like the most painful thing. Like one of the most painful ways to die, short of like, I guess, being stabbed a million times. Like it sounds awful. Look up every book of are there insects in this book? Well, put some suggestions in the document. Find some horror books that definitely don't have insects. Mark them or something or highlight them, and I'll be sure to give those ones special attention. Yeah, I wasn't having fun thinking about their deaths. Thank you. Yeah, it's horrible. It's really scary. For a book where it's like I mean, a lot of people die in this book for sure, but I mean, coming right out the gate with that kill, I feel like they don't none of the other deaths really get topped. After that one. That one's like the most gruesome and the scariest thing. I'm sure I picked something you suggested. I don't know if it's still in this document. It might not be anymore. It's probably not, but I'm almost positive I picked one from everybody's suggestions for this year. I made sure everybody was covered. Oh, my voice is already going. I wonder if there's some like symbolism, I guess, to like the I guess bees, I maybe understand the symbolism a little bit more. Like it being like a colony, a community. There's like the worker bee and the queen bee. They produce honey, that sort of thing. Like I guess I can understand the symbolism a little bit more when it's in a story. But like what the fuck are the I'm just gonna keep harping on the yellow jackets because honestly, I'm like, what the fuck is up with the yellow jackets? Um like why were they there though? Like other than just to be scary. Like is there I'm literally gonna Google like is there like some sort of like hidden like symbolism or meaning to yellow jackets that we should know about? Oh shit. Oh wait, this is for the show. Oh, that's not. Ah, damn. Am I gonna be able to search this? That's for the show, not for the show. Like the insect symbolism, not the show. Like literally, what's their point? It can't be just that though. Like, because ghosts are scary. It could have just been ghosts. Could have been a serial killer. It could have been anything. It could have been a yeti. They were in the woods. It could have been a vicious grizzly bear. Why? Why the yellow jackets? I mean, other than the fact that they're like aggressive, they mentioned that in the book that they're aggressive. Like if they feel like they're being threatened, they'll like, chase you. Again, that's fucking terrifying as well. Okay, okay, I did find something. I think it is technically a part. Oh, it's on the show Yellow Jacket subreddit, but they're talking about the significance, I guess, of the insect, and they said they're like most eusocial. I've never heard that word. Eusocial wasps. They're almost entirely female. I feel like that's our symbolism right there. Did they mention that in the book? That yellow jackets are almost entirely female. I feel like there's our symbolism. This is like a queer lady book. They are strong predators, dangerous and aggressive. Okay. Hmm. So in other words, they're a dangerous predatory female animal. Huh. I guess that's the symbolism. I always gotta, you guys have seen Does This Offend You? We do a bit of a reach. I love a bit of a reach. I gotta look this shit up. I feel like that I don't know if they mentioned that in the book though. That's gotta be it though, that they're all lady yellow jackets. Doesn't make them any less scary. Aren't yellow jackets bigger than bees? I think so. I feel like most of the wasps that I see around here are bigger than bees also, so so much better than being chased by Bigfoot. Oh, yeah, maybe that also. Malevolent and unforgiving. I feel like that's definitely true. Hence a force for vengeance and manifestation of the curse. Yeah, because like the curse also, like the curse was just kind of like a thing that happened. Like it was scary, and that's like part of the property, but it's not something that they ever solve either. And I don't it's not the point of the story. They're not trying to like solve the curse or anything like that. So maybe It's just to point out, like, it's always gonna be there, like, the bad things have been done on that land, and then that's it, and it's just cursed now. It's unrelenting. Um, maybe yellow jackets are all gay. Maybe, maybe. I guess it's gotta be it. Doesn't the show also have, queer lady characters? I haven't watched any Yellow Jackets yet. If it's I guess don't tell me, but maybe you're onto something, Tana. Maybe if we see Yellow Jacket symbolism anywhere else, sapphics. We know. I don't really want that to be my representation, like insect wise, but I guess it's something scary, and that's kind of cool. I guess. Oh goodness. Oh, how did we? There's so much going on in this book. I almost forgot about Libby and Alex. I know we kind of talked about the past storyline, but anybody have any strong thoughts on the Libby Alex storyline? I feel like that one kind of just that storyline kind of just faded out as well, too. That happened a lot at the end of this book. Like, yeah, for all the build up, for all the work you do reading this book, like the payoff is there are gays and yellow jackets too. I need to contact scientists right now. What should our representation be insect wise? I don't know. I don't know. Unfortunately, I like when I said that I did not have an alternative in my brain. Um, don't even remember who these people are. Libby's the principal at Brookhaunts when Flo and Clara when they um when they die. She's the one running the school, and then Alex is her partner for all intents and purposes in like 1902, whenever the whenever the past storyline has taken place. My favorite relationship, the complexity and the tension, but yeah, again, not no payoff. Still great to see a mature couple. Yeah, and it was good. It was good. I guess well-rounded representation because we have like with Harper and Merritt and Audrey, there's kind of like a young love thing going on, you know what I mean? Like they're all just meeting each other for the first time. And then with Libby and Alex, this is even though we do get a little bit of their backstory, like how they came to be together and that sort of thing. They're the majority of their story, like they're a mature relationship, and one that's kind of like not necessarily falling apart, but it's, a little bit falling apart by the end. Um, we don't know that that's necessarily their fault though, or if it's Brookhans, because it's definitely not an easy place to live. That's for sure. But just like it started to build into something cool. There's like Alex, who's like, I forget what they're called, but she's like looking at those like images and they're like changing every time she looks at them. And it's scary. And she's like trying to figure stuff out. And then, like Hannah was part of Harold Brooke Hans's like crew or whatever. And there's like, it seems like there's like a whole mystery Alex was going to like figure out. And then then she just falls down the stairs and dies. And it's, doesn't really doesn't really amount to anything again. It's very strange. That was like the whole theme of this book is that it's kind of just like, and okay. Like I feel like for the buildup, I would have read another like 200 pages, if the conflict got a little more like, I don't know, conflicty. But nothing really happened. Um I don't even know what I would rate this. Anyone else want to share what they numerical like, numerical wise what they rated it? I have no idea. Yes. Yeah, Libby's the one who, well, she gets pregnant, and then of course she's, freaking out, and then Harold Brookhans is like, he's, I don't know, like really into the supernatural and shit. And he like cuts a deal with Libby to, you know, give her Brookhans essentially. I guess so that he can have a kid, aka her kid. I wish they had gone more. Sorry. I wish they had gone more into like what the fuck Harold Brookhans was into. Like I don't even really know like what was going on with that. And then he like his friend like Madame Verette or whatever. They seem like they were into like magic-y like kind of like woo stuff. And I'm like, oh, maybe like they want her kid because like he was about to die and he's trying to like live forever and like reincarnate through her kid or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something interesting like that. And I'm like, oh, he just wanted a kid. That's it. For like his couple years that he had left, and then and then we're done. Yeah, the parts were greater than the sum, I think. Parts were greater than the sum. Yeah, all the interesting parts were glossed over. It was like interesting all the way through, and then when it's like time for that payoff, time for like, okay, there's all the work I did reading this. This is where it all comes together, and then it just went. Bloop. I know. Me literally just like viciously punching my pillow during those parts. Oh my god, fucking damn it! All that tension. Was that meant to be a greater theme of this book? Who knows? Who knows? A 4 out of 5? A 4 out of 5. Honestly, I feel like I'm down with that rating. A 4 out of 5. Like genuinely, most of it was great. Most of it was great. And I feel like I like to reward the good parts. So most of it was great. It could have been a perfect book. It really could have been a perfect book. It was so close. It was right there. uh, I don't even know if I would have been that mad about the other parts being glossed over if this part wasn't glossed over. This book is if you want gay sex, you have to write your own book. I'm just gonna write a fan fiction of like all the different storylines and how they actually end in this. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, excuse me. Did you have a rating for this, Tana? I don't know if you're like me and you're kind of like, the number doesn't really matter. I really just kind of like slap a number in Storygraph. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling like a 4.25 or whatever, but 1.3 out of 5 due to glossing over interesting stuff and the questionable structure. Okay. Some different Definitely different reactions to the structure, which I feel like is to be expected when you have a structure like this, like with the meta fiction. It's not going to be one that everybody likes or even loves. That's for sure. I feel like I can't give it a fair rating, so I'll say my rating is no, thank you. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think I'm gonna copy Des. I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm gonna reward the good parts of this book because I feel like it could have been better. I'm gonna send this back to the author and be like, with my notes and be like, hey, this could be a 5 out of 5. You just got to make these changes, please and thank you. And then I'll have her take out all the yellow jackets. And then Tana will also rate it a 5 out of 5 at that point. I never give zeros. I don't either. I don't even know if I don't know if there's a way to even rate that on there. I think you have to rate it like the lowest on Storygraph. I feel like if I'm gonna give something a 0 out of 5, I'm probably DNFing it, and at which point I'm just marking it as DNF'd and moving on. I'm not giving it a rating. Um, unless it's something like truly horrible and harmful, like whatever is written in the book is harmful, like in the real world, and then I might probably give it a low rating just to bring the overall rating down a little bit. Um, if it the book is promoting like real world harm. But if it's just something like it just wasn't for me, I just mark it as a DNF and I move on. All I know the 5 is absolutely banging. We gotta take these notes. I'll make like a little graphic for like Tana's ratings. Like a sliding scale, with absolutely banging being at the top. So we can so it'll be like a key, We're like, okay, so 5 out of 5 is absolutely banging, and then we can figure out, okay, when Tana says this, she means it's a 3.5. Can agree with that, yeah. The 2.5. This is for science, Tana. This is for science. Tiffany's a big old mess. Interesting. I feel like this is where it gets interesting because like if it's out of 5 at 2.5, I don't know if I'd say meh. That's definitely subjective. Interesting. Like what my translation of a 2.5 would be. Interesting. Okay, well in that case, I'll go ahead and wrap this stream up here because my I'm gonna go rest my rest my voice and maybe go drink some hot tea. But just as a reminder, we're already very well into November, but Getaway by our queen, Zoya Stage, is our November pick. Definitely not as long. Thank goodness for that. And then, of course, we have Looking Glass Sound by Katrina Ward. Oh, for December, and Des already has feelings about it, so I'm very excited now. I'm even more excited than I was, which I didn't think was possible. Um, and please don't forget Marielle, since you like to question my choices all the time. Leave some suggestions for 2024 Creepy Book Club in the document, which is pinned. There's a little section there, and you can just type your suggestions. You can put your name on it or not put your name on it. It's really doesn't matter. That one's up to you. And then yeah, okay. So thank you for bearing with my throat and me coughing a lot on this stream. If anybody watches this back, I'm really sorry about that. Luckily, I have a month till next Creepy Book Club. to recover this voice. Happy reading for November, and I'll talk to you guys next month for a getaway. Love your choices. Love you. Love your finished ghost face painting. Love you too. Uh, have a good night. Thank you. Thank you. I will take care of my throat. Have a good night, you guys. Bye. Love you.